Well, as most of you know, Ghosts in Festusumum Record was my number one album for 2013, and it's great to have the band back in the country, currently trekking across Australia for the big days out. We are about to get reacquainted with one of the Nameless Ghouls. Welcome to AndrewHaug.com, Mr. Nameless Ghoul.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
No worries. And again, it's been just on a year since you were last here. And last time we did speak, the record hadn't come out yet. I'd only heard one track being Secular Haze. Obviously, since then, I've digested it heavily, and it was my number one record for the year. It certainly received a lot of praise across the board since its release, and it's still, in some ways, a fairly new album. Though I remember when we spoke about it, you mentioned that the record had kind of been written 2 years prior to its release and was kind of just sort of sitting on the shelf. Does it still sort of feel fresh for you guys at the moment?
We've been touring the record for almost a year now, and obviously it's I wouldn't say worn, but we are currently in the writing process for the third, and from a creative standpoint, you automatically, your mind is starting to sort of look to the future more so than being current. But I think that the material works very well in a live setting, and that's obviously where it lives now. I mean, at least myself, and I guess most of the band, once you've recorded the record, you don't really listen to it, and the only time when you actually hear the songs is when you're performing them. And from that perspective, I must say that the songs live on very well. I mean, it's not they are easy to go with the flow with,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, no, they don't feel worn.
I did read one of the Nameless Ghouls, I'm not sure which one, mentioned that the next record is going to be a little bit more, I guess, metallic in the sense of heavier sort of guitars. Can you elaborate a little bit on where you think it might sort of end up?
I think that what I've been trying to sort of make clear was that Infestissimum turned out to be quite a vocal record, and which goes very well with the level of theatrics of our live show right now. Whereas in the future, when we plan to sort of go even more elaborate, and when it comes to theatrics and live performances, we cannot really have Papa singing all the time, because that will sort of that's not very good for dynamics. Two, it's not very healthy, basically, if you have a singer that sings all the time. And C is that there needs to be, from an instrumentalist point of view, I think that as much as I like our current record, I think that we want to do a record that might be a little bit more instrumental, and thus, with that, saying that it might be a more riff-based. But I mean, these are general, just thoughts about it from our point of view. And if it makes the record coming out as more of a metal record or not, it's very hard to tell right now.
Well, as I mentioned about the metal thing, the band certainly has a broad crossover appeal. Are you seeing more and more of that improving as the career of Ghost continues to build?
We've always had quite a wide range of people from different sort of different parts of the society, in the sense, or different scenes, I guess. More so than, I guess, your like average underground metal band. But obviously, most of our crowd is sort of leaning towards some sort of heavy rock, and everything from just mainstream rock people to the most sort of diehard record collecting Patches and all that sort of metal people. Where I guess our crowd is sort of really different from most bands, is that one, the age range usually when we play, especially all ages shows, when we do our headlining tours, you always have children there. There's always, like, not necessarily seniors, but it's 50 pluses, and you have your couples, and you have your young girls, and there's a very colorful blend of people. And from our point of view, where we are looking at the audience, sometimes we're warming and quite fun to see. Your metal guys headbanging next to the indie girl who's just dancing, and everybody smiling and having fun.
As we know, with the wonderful world of the internet, it's helped a lot of things, but it's also, affected a lot of things as well. It's kind of a necessary evil, and especially today in a society that, people generally want to know what the magic trick is before they actually see the trick itself. Being a band like Ghost and really the live show is definitely based around theatrics. I mean, you're, if anything, a theatre type band. Are you finding it harder to try and keep not so much the mystique of the group, because, people always like to spoil that, but to try and keep things, I guess, with some sort of mystery?
Yes, I mean, it is it is virtually impossible to keep it completely in the dark. I think that even though there are artists that are not anonymous, there are still a lot of people that manage to have a successful career and still not being completely accessible and openly twittering about going to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that in the event of us not being as anonymous as we are right now, I think that's very much up to how you sort of present yourself, just because you're not nameless doesn't mean that everybody knows exactly who you are and where you are and what to do. So, I mean, we have accepted that years ago, that this is not going to hold water forever. It won't. Every step that we take in order to become a bigger or more successful band, it's going to be one step away from maintaining that anonymity.
Yeah.
So, but there's a huge difference between being anonymous or unknown and masked. So, again, in the event of us being recognized in a medial sort of fashion, that doesn't mean necessarily that we stop wearing masks on stage and completely change our modus around. And as long as we don't do that, I think it might not be the end of the world.
Yeah. Well,
not everybody cares.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, not everybody that's into the band cares about that. So.
Well, let's talk about the side shows. You're playing tomorrow night, the 22nd, at the Hi-Fi Bar in Melbourne, and for those in Sydney on Tuesday, the 28th of January, also at the Hi-Fi. So again, it's a great privilege to be having the mighty Ghost back in Australia, and we can get you to possibly say a couple last words to Ghost fans here at andrewhaug.com, Mr. Nameless Ghoul, and choose one of your favourite tracks from Infesta Sumum.
Yeah, no, I will. Well, conclusively, we're very glad to be back, and we're looking forward to do the headlining shows. I think that we missed doing that last time, and we're very glad to be able to do that now. I would like to hear, or I would like everybody to hear, "The Depth of Satan's Eyes," which I think is a good, solid song from the record.
Fantastic. All right, well, all the best again. Keep us posted on brand new music. We'll certainly feature it heavily here on andrewhaug.com, being Australia's only 24/7 rock metal radio station. Thanks, Nameless Ghoul, and let's check out some Ghost.
Thank you very much, man.